All right, let's talk about number 6. This says 60% of the shoes at Zumiez are Converse. There are 160 pairs of shoes at Zumiez. How many pairs are Converse? All right, let's first identify what we know. Well, we know that 60% of the shoes at Zumiez are Converse, right? We know there are 160 pairs of shoes at Zumiez, and we want to know how many pairs are Converse. So we're trying to find out Converse. We know 60% are Converse, right? So let's start off with a little model. Well, we know that percents are always out of what? 100, right? We know 60 out of 100. We know 60% represents Converse, and that's what we're looking for, right? So that's our missing value. What is 60%? And 60% of what? Of 160, right? Because that is the total amount of pairs at Zumiez. So let's start to think about what needs to be true. Well, if it's 60% of 100, and we're talking about 160 shoes, to be reasonable, what should be true about our answer? Well, hopefully you're saying it should be less than 160, right? If it became more, that wouldn't be reasonable because 60% is less than 100, so it'd have to be at least less at the minimum. All right, so let's try to break this down and solve. Now, there's a lot of different strategies. I want to explain some different ones here just in case you were stuck. Now, one that's in our key concepts guide that we use a lot is we start off by turning a percent into a unit rate, a decimal, right? So right now this is out of 100. How do I turn it into a unit rate? I just simply divide 60 divided by 100 or move that decimal 2 times to the left. So 60% would be equivalent to 0.60 or 0.6. All right, and we know anytime we're finding a part, what we do is we multiply. So we're going to take our other value not related to the percent, so 160. We're going to multiply that by 0.6, and that should give us our missing value. So let's see what that does for us. 160 times 0.6, and that's going to give us 96. So we can ask ourselves here, is it reasonable that 96 out of 160 is about 60%? Yeah, it could be, but let's check for sure. 60 divided by 100 is 0.6. We want to make sure 96 divided by 160 is the same. And when I check it, it is. It's also 60%, 0.6. So I can be confident in that value that 96 pairs were Converse. But I don't want to limit you to that strategy. Let's say you were completely stuck and you didn't know where else to go. Well, we can draw a model, right? Anytime I call them a pretty percent, in this case, we can draw a model to represent the 100%, right? We can make each part 10%, so they're 10 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right? And I know that those 10 parts have to give me a total, since I have my whole, of 160, right? Each part of this is going to represent 10%. So then if I know all of these equal 160, what would each part have to be? Well, I'm breaking it down into 10 parts, right? So that would make each part 16. Now, if I know each part is 16, can't I find out what 60% is? Yeah, if each part's 10, I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts to give me 60%. And in that case, I would do 16 times 6, and that should also give me 96, right? 96 for Converse. So there's another strategy in case you were stuck. And now I can actually use this model to answer the next part of the question. How many were not Converse? Well, I know 40% were not Converse, right? So this remaining, 16 times 4. And that would give me 64 were not Converse. You could have also, to find that part, you could have also taken your whole, right, 160, subtracted your part, which was 96, and that also would have given you the leftover of 64 were not Converse. All right, I'm trying to give you different depictions just in case one doesn't work in your brain, so hopefully that helped you out.